So what a week it's been for Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners, as we have had the opportunity to talk about several wins Oklahoma has got on the trail. But today we need to talk about and break down the biggest win OU has gotten in the class of 2024 thus far. And of course, we're talking about how five-star running back, the number one running back in the nation, Taylor Tatum, commits to the Oklahoma Sooners. And as great of a win as that is, it's a little bit sweeter whenever we consider who Oklahoma gets this win over, which is the USC Trojans. We're here to break it all down, but before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Are you surprised that Taylor Tatum chose Oklahoma over USC? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification, as I do constant college football content and you don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions truly do seem small, but they are massive to content creators such as myself, and both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as always, we're going to start this off with, who is Taylor Tatum? Well, Taylor Tatum is one of the most gifted prospects in the nation. Specifically, if we look, he comes in as a top 35 player, regardless of position in high school football, per the 24/7 Sports Composite, coming in at number 31. He's the number one running back in the nation per the 24/7 Sports Composite, and a top 10 player in the state of Texas, coming in at number 9. And that's very impressive whenever we really take a deep dive into the collection of talent located in the state of Texas in the class of 2024, where it's truly insane, and Taylor Tatum is among the best of that talent. And whenever you turn on the film, it's easy to see why he's the nation's number one running back. He truly is a do-it-all back. He stands 5'10", 205 pounds per 24/7 Sports. And one thing I noticed when you turn on the film, like I said, he does everything at a high level. He's a back with some physicality, but he also has some long speed. And one thing that you're going to notice is he has got a great one cut and go ability, where he will put his foot in the ground, make a decisive move, and then leave everybody in the dust. But perhaps the most intriguing thing, in my opinion, was seeing his offense slot him out in the slot and let him work against defenses. Because personally, I love when I see that out of the running backs, especially at the high school level, because that displays they already know how to get active in the passing game. And when we're talking modern offenses in college football, I don't need to tell Oklahoma fans this, as Eric Gray got active in the passing game, if not actively getting the ball, just used as a decoy, what that can create for your offense. If you're really bored right now because we're deep into the offseason and you want some great examples, go watch the 2019 LSU offense with how they used Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they killed defenses with him out the backfield. If you want a more recent example, I reference this one all the time. First and foremost, Bijan Robinson with Texas, but secondly, Alabama's first game last year. Jahmyr Gibbs floats out the backfield into the flat, and two defensive backs bite. They step forward, and Bryce Young just takes the easy pitch and catch to Ja'Cory Brooks for a 15-yard gain and a first down. Though it was nothing flashy, it keeps the chains moving and it keeps the defense on their heels. Because now the next time Jahmyr Gibbs goes into the flats, they might not step forward. They might think about the last time they stepped forward, got out of position, and a first down happened. Well, now Bryce can just hit him in the flat and he can work there. That's what I love when you have a running back that can get active in the passing game. It adds a whole nother element to your offense, something that a defense has to account for. And especially when we're really taking dives into the modern offenses, how they're utilizing route layering and stylistic differences at the wide receiver position, something we talk about here on the channel all the time, something we've been talking about all the time. That's where I think this is very exciting. Seeing what he can do on a football field, and it's multifaceted. It's not just relegated to him being in the backfield. He can get active all along the offense, and personally, I think that's something that's going to excite Jeff Lebby. I have to imagine. Jeff Lebby loves whenever he turns on the film and sees Taylor Tatum lined up in the slot and not just being used as a decoy, actually getting plays made for his offense. It's very impressive to see. But as I alluded to in the intro, this win is great for Oklahoma, as Taylor Tatum is the highest rated prospect they have thus far in the class of 2024. He is their first five-star, though that could change with all the battles that Oklahoma finds themselves in, especially along the defensive line. But another reason why this is so sweet for Oklahoma fans is who they got this win over, which was USC. And this is has been a really interesting recruiting battle to follow, because after Taylor Tatum visited USC, all signs pointed to the Trojans could have taken the lead. And he was talking about how the Lincoln Riley offense puts up big numbers for offensive playmakers, and he's certainly not wrong. However, after that, he visited the Oklahoma Sooners, and that's where everything seemed to change. And it's not just the Oklahoma football staff that deserves some praise here. It's the Oklahoma baseball staff and Skip Johnson that also deserve a whole lot of praise, because Taylor Tatum, as great as a running back as he is, and he is, I mean, we talk about it, being a guy that can really do it all, having the physicality, having the top end speed, as he's recorded several sub-11 second 100-meter dashes, but then also being a multi-sport guy, where he is an elite baseball player as well and looks to play both at the college level, which is always very exciting to see. It's not just the Oklahoma football staff that put their hard hats on and got to work. It was the Oklahoma baseball staff. So when you're sitting here asking yourself the question, how did this come to be? It's multifaceted. And that, in my opinion, makes this recruiting battle so interesting. First and foremost, I already love recruiting. I think we know this by now of all the recruiting videos I make. But whenever battles have a little bit more to them than, hey, we got a great player as a part of our recruiting class. Whenever OU and USC are going head-to-head for a prospect, there's something more there. Yes, they're not officially rivals, but nobody can tell me there's not a little bit more there. Like when Texas and Oklahoma go against each other for a prospect, or Alabama, Auburn, Michigan, Ohio State, there's something more there than the simple win or loss in that recruiting battle. It just means a bit more. And this is certainly one of those instances, but this instance is so intriguing because not only are we talking about football staffs going at it, we're talking about the baseball staffs getting involved. And one thing we have got to acknowledge is that DeMarco Murray is a really good running back coach. And so too is Coach McDonald with the USC Trojans. No doubt about that. Fantastic coach, has been a phenomenal recruiter and has accessed states like Texas in the past for USC. But one thing we have got to admit is that whenever DeMarco Murray walks into your living room, and Oklahoma fans, I apologize, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, and this is going to be the 1,001st time, and it will probably be said a few more times, so I apologize. Whenever DeMarco Murray walks into the living room, sits across from the player and their parents and can tell them, I've been you, my family has been your family, I went through the process, I was a high-rated guy coming out of high school, I successfully made the transition from high school to college, was successful in college, and then had a long and prosperous career in the NFL, and oh yeah, by the way, now I'm back at my alma mater, OU, as the running back coach, and I've sent several guys to the NFL. That's next to impossible to argue with. And I think it's so cool that they have an alum as their running back coach. Not only an alum, but an alum that was that impactful for the Sooners and beyond. To me, I think that's awesome, and it makes it very difficult to recruit against DeMarco Murray. And one thing we've got to understand, you're not going to win all battles in recruiting. That's just not going to happen. First and foremost, there are way too many good coaches out there. Secondly, there are way too many good recruiters out there. But it's about winning the battles you need to win. And this was a battle Oklahoma really wanted to win and won. They are over the moon, they get in. Now, before we get out of here, we have got to ask and answer the question, what does this mean for the Sooners recruiting class? Well, it puts them within the top 20 recruiting classes in the nation with 15 prospects. And that's exactly where you want to be. This really highlights why myself, JP, J with Unfair Sports, PG, we've all been sitting here singing the same tune. Relax. Oklahoma is going to be just fine, as it is way too early for fans to be considering where they rank in recruiting and the impacts that will have. If you want to get worried in October, hey, I'm here for the conversation. If you want to get worried in November, I'll lead the conversation. People should never get worried about where they sit in recruiting in May, June, and especially July, as we constantly see fireworks in the month of July, and especially when the recruiters and the head coach take the stylistic approach of Brent Venables, which is going to be a bit slower because it's built on relationships. Something to keep at the forefront of your mind when you're thinking about Oklahoma recruiting. But with that, we're going to get out of here. Hop down to the comments. I want to hear a few things from y'all. First and foremost, who's next for the Oklahoma Sooners? Let me know. Secondly, let me know what you're thinking about this fantastic edition. That's it. See ya.